Well, it was really funny.
It's cool.
Did you keep that letter?
Yeah, that was fun when I was living there and we were living together.
Well, I spent 10 years in Temple. Every year, it's like we call them.
How many governments did you do?
And the camera's going. Will you get out of the way?
Wow.
They did a lot. They did so
5,600,
many,
that'd be like
so many in the morning and so
1,500
many in the afternoon, day after day.
Every day in there.
Get out of the way. The camera's going. Yeah.
Temple was there.
Just look right
Couple
there.
sessions. Down there was. Did 2 more sessions. Sometimes we'd come back and do a session. Once I would do 5 sessions a day.
I take my hat off to you. I can't do that.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't do that.
I feel I've done good if I do 2
Grant,
sessions
Grant and Grant.
one day.
They got to tell them.
Dude, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Watch
I know it's hot right now.
Don't.
One up there.
Don't.
I'm trying to do get up with them. And then I
Pretty
did.
good.
Well, he did. He went up with Grant. And then he did what, 5 in one day
I
again?
did 10 sessions and they did 10. And the next day they didn't do it. I had to cut down.
I can't do 5 sessions a day.
No.
My testimony isn't that
I can't
strong, Grandpa.
either.
The last session this year, I was terrible because I've heard that a million times. I was gonna say, but not quite, but
Why is it saying light in there?
that's what she
It's
does.
like, well,
She asked the same question.
It kind of reminded him of Pearl, you
In an
know,
hour.
talking to him and
Regular
so
hour,
he just,
she'd ask me the same question, I done her 2 times. And you gotta answer, some kind of answer, you know, you gotta get.
I want to see light.
Yeah.
he lived with that for 8 years. Can you imagine?
That's
I
what
didn't know what
it is.
wrong with her.
8 years.
I
That's
did
a
the
long
best I
time.
could.
That's a tough disease.
Oh,
It's
really?
probably one of the hardest.
Really? Finally told her.
What's that
Yeah, they
on?
don't tell me something.
Hey,
Do you know what grade? I never unhooked it.
I do.
They had some
Now you
tail.
can screw the bolt on the back or something.
And then I didn't know how to administer the pill.
It wasn't until the last, about
what?
a year and a half or 2 years that you found out she had Alzheimer's. Was it?
No, we knew it 8 years ago.
Oh, did you
Yeah,
know?
he told me 8
Yeah.
years ago.
How did they diagnose that?
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Is it just when they start
Purple
acting
told me,
funny?
just exactly,
I don't know,
And I said
Purcell
her-
was the one that said it.
to the,
Who did?
Purcell?
Herschel.
Uh-huh.
I
And
sent her up
then,
to Seattle. She bumped her head in the center of Seattle to see if I could do something about it. I didn't do nothing, I charged me $1,500 and then I brought her back down here. And about 2 months, I had her in the hospital here for another 15. And then
Don't, David.
neither one of them told me anything any more than Purcell told me. Oh, she ever left. I can save that money.
Is that a picture of Grandma Pratt?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great
No, that's
picture.
Grandpa's mother.
That's
Is it
his
Emma
mother.
Aldrich?
Yeah,
That's our great
that's his
grandmother.
mother.
She's the one that died in childbirth,
Wait,
baby
no.
twins. They buried her
Tim's
with a baby
moving
in
it,
each
and I don't
arm.
know what's going on.
You're
Yeah,
kidding. She
She
died
need-
in childbirth with
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
twins.
twin children. That's your mother?
Yes.
Grandpa, weren't you 8 years old when they came and
Bought-
told you?
Yeah, I bought
Uncle
her,
Ray,
yeah.
if it's blinking white, what does that mean?
Well, it means we could have more light.
You got it all.
We're using her all.
It'll work.
You can plug in that one.
Yeah.
With modern equipment. No.
You probably unplugged this heater here.
Well, we don't want to get cold.
sounds like our house. Did you hear what happened to our heat pump? It broke. It was $1,500, took $3,000 to get it fixed. They can't fix it in the winter. We do not have a heat pump
All winter?
all winter.
You kidding me? Can't
Can't
be.
Don't
open
have
them up in the
to,
winter.
see, you're going on.
They just can't.
We don't have modern technology out here.
You're going to last Christmas.
Now what are you
Well,
gonna
there's
do?
a backup
Oh,
heater in our furnace,
well,
so
that's good.
I went
They
up
call
to
it an emergency heater.
emergency
You
heater.
had
See,
a
Grandpa,
exhibit up
That's
there,
good.
primary exhibit, showing pearlite sin. And I had it cold, and I thought more cold.
Yeah, it's better.
Going up
Not
there.
blinking
Saw
lights.
that fog,
Does that pick up the
they
sound?
have to go on.
Real good.
I
What's
didn't
it,
do
what's it
it.
do on the side?
Oh, I got it.
96, 95, there.
When I came back to the airport, I couldn't hardly make it to the airport over to, the plane to the airport.
What's her? Sue?
I got a wheelchair and put me on out into
Yeah.
to the car.
Bridget? Bridget.
I sat up all
Which is
night,
it?
didn't lie down. I sit up, video there.
Keep from getting congested.
Yeah, and so, next day they put me in the hospital. I was in there, and, hospital a month.
Boom, yeah.
Had 200
Down here.
intensive care.
Uncle Ray, have you ever seen a watermelon archer?
I called about
And all that intensive care, 500 and something, all in the day.
They thought they had some fun.
Yeah, that is expensive.
I got out and going in and had this pacer. That pacer cost $1,000, just the pacer itself. And I had that operation and all
But
that.
aren't you glad you got it?
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
It's worth $1,000 right now, isn't
What are you
it?
gonna do with that? My eyes were next. I spent $3,000 a piece on them, and the cataracts taken off on them.
Oh,
I
sorry.
could see
I
it.
didn't know it.
I just get a novel.
He's so brave. If anything needs doing, he just says, well, let's get it done. Let's not wait around.
That was 36,000.
He had quite a lot of trouble with the one on the
Very
left.
good, Dave.
Carol put the wrong drops in his eye.
You name it.
Is that getting straightened out now, your left eye?
Yeah, it's getting better all the time. They weren't right. They all right.
Mexico? And what did your mother say when
There was
you...
a whole group, you know, in our ward, you want to go to Mexico.
Yeah, a whole group, huh?
And George A. Black was the institutor of all of it. And my dad was neighbor to him, and he thought, sure, my dad would go, but when Dad didn't go, but George A. went,
Uh-huh.
and some of the others, there was 4 or 5 of them went, and some of them married, had poor marriage over there, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so George A. Black, he settled down, had a nice farm, and had everything coming good, and some nice crops, and was a lot better off than he was here.
Uh-huh.
And he had a water right divided between him and a Mexican. And it was on time basis. And the Mexican was supposed to have it so long, and George A. is supposed to have it so long. And they either got confused, either that or one was stealing the other's water. I don't know which it was.
Uh-huh.
It sounded to me like it maybe he's hardening all the guy's water.
Well, maybe he was.
So the Mexican went up and turned it back and told him to leave it alone. So
Excuse me, Grant, when you're through, just
he went back to
hit
the house.
that blue button.
Do what?
Just push that blue button down. Just see it's the power. So
Well,
just-
George A. Black
Yeah,
went
when
up
he's
and
through.
turned the water on again. So the Mexican went down to his house and got a gun and hid there. sand scale.
Is that right?
And when he come back, he took that water on it. He just let him have it. Just dropped him right down the head gate.
Oh my gosh.
That's all it took. They had more doing that than go out and throw a stick over the fence. They kill him, man. I don't mean nothing to them.
No.
There's a lot of them lost their lives just monkeying around, you know.
Yeah.
You can't fool the Mexicans. Such a treasures. They get their own way eventually. Everybody will go.
Yeah.
It seems to me like.
You tell me about that one that they run him off. He's got his crops and stuff all in and
Oh,
got all
that was-
situated. Who was that, Dad?
My granddad.
That was your granddad?
Yeah, oh, they had a beautiful place down there. He'd been down there longer than some of the others. And they had a nice farm and the wheat was growing real nice, you know.
Uh-huh.
Just ready to harvest.
Was that Jonathan Blackmore?
No, that's Grandpa Aldrich.
Oh, Grandpa Aldrich.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And,
That was on your mother's side.
yeah, on one side.
Uh-huh.
And so they just rounded up those Americans and told them to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't take over, take their homes and
Just-
everything else. They had a nice crop there and they had their home first. You know, if they had to buy a piano, they had the rest of the stuff must have been pretty good.
Uh-huh.
And they had a new piano in there and they took that, they took everything he had. He never had one thing. He walked out of there, the corner stood up there. Never had one thing.
And then where did,
He went out from there to El Paso, Texas, and somebody got a popcorn machine. Started popping corn, and he made a living at that. And I think he
selling
did
popcorn, huh?
I think he did that a little bit in Salt Lake.
Uh-huh.
Then after that, he got a job around these little two-wheeled carts around in streets after.
Uh-huh.
That's at the time of the horses, you know.
Yeah.
They had little brushes, little two-wheeled cart, they go around. Yeah, that's up at back, these horses keeping the streets clean.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that was a city collector.
He said he was a city
Yeah.
collector.
That's what he said, he was a city collector.
Well, it was an honorable job anyway.
Yeah, you bet.
You bet.
Somebody had to do it.
That's right.
He made a living out of it anyway.
Yeah. Before he died, he come around and visited all his relatives, didn't he, Dad?
Yes, he did. He made a visit.
Visited all of them. He come to our house and I didn't even know him. I didn't, he was,
He walked too, so.
yeah.
He didn't go nowhere, he walked. He would
Yeah, he walked.
nobody take him any place for it.
He had a long beard and
Yeah.
he'd come up there and he said, I wanted to visit with you, and he stayed right there, and I didn't know who he was, and we come home, and then, Dad, you knew who he was, and we brought him in, and he stayed, what, 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, he used to operate ball. We had,
Yeah, he had,
I had to go tell him my special food for him.
yeah,
And after find out what he needed, you know, and all those
Yeah.
things for him.
he had asthma, that he had to sleep sitting up in bed, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, he wasn't very good that way,
bad shape.
pretty bad shape. He visited all his kids, and then he went home,
He
and,
was a good old man.
yeah, he was a good old man.
I used to live over in Castle Valley.
Yeah,
I used to like to drive over there.
yeah. This is a picture of your mother, isn't it, Dad?
Yes.
This is a picture of your mother.
Yes, yes.
It was her dad that we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
It's her dad who we're talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
What was your mother's name, Grandpa?
Emma.
What?
Emma.
Emma?
Emma Aldrich. Emma Aldrich.
Aldridge was her maiden name?
Yes.
Aldrich. Oh, Emma Aldrich.
She died when you was quite young, didn't she, Dad?
Yeah, I'm only 8 years old.
You was 8 years old?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Then where did you go? You went to live with your grandma, didn't
Oh,
you?
yeah, we come back and, Grandma said she liked to take the younger children and
Which grandma was this? Is this Grandma Pratt or Grandma?
Grandma Pratt, and she was in one then.
Yeah.
She had a patriarchal blessing.
She couldn't get around, could she?
She had a rocker. She used to feel like a corporate rocker.
Uh-huh.
That's what she got a rocker.
That's the way she got around?
She had a rocker, just wore right now.
She'd scoot on the floor with a rocker, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yet she took care of the kids, huh?
Yeah.
Was she all alone?
She was then.
She was then,
Had a
huh?
hard girl. We had a hard girl to help her.
Uh-huh.
Her granddad died. But her patriarchal blessing said her last days would be her best days.
Her last days would be her best day?
And she got so she could walk around.
She got so she could walk around?
And
Uh-huh.
she had a little pony outside there with horse I pulled up and drive down town around.
Uh-huh.
And she had a house almost exactly where I got mine.
Well-
Down there by the rights, you know.
Yeah?
And it burned down.
Well, right down in there, huh?
You know,
Well, I didn't know that.
you know. And I was on a mission now, and she was quite sick, and she said she wanted to live to see me off of a mission, and about a month after I got home, she died.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Huh. Did her house burn down while she was in it or after she left there?
I can't remember for
You
sure.
can't remember. Well, isn't that a coincidence you'd build right about on the same spot where she lived, huh?
Pretty close.
Pretty close to the same spot in Hinckley, huh?
Uh-huh.
Hinckley, Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been a good many years ago, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
I was interested with granddad.
You want to try it? Stop. Just a minute, Dad.
And he, of course, thought I was the cream of the crop.
Yeah?
He used to go over there, his buggy had a certain old fancy mare to drive, you know.
Uh-huh.
He picked me up and take me over to Deseret and buy me overcoat, shoes, and just sent me right out all the time, just for school, you know.
Uh-huh.
I'd have a cap and a whole works. He always liked me.
Yeah.
Let's hold it just a minute, Grandpa.
He said that 3 messengers come in. Laid their hands on her head, between each one of there.
Your dad found that, or your granddad?
My granddad saw.
Your granddad saw.
And,
Your dad has seen people like that too, hasn't he?
Give her a blessing.
Yeah.
And she, it was filled right out the letter, till she got up, was walking on to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Her last days,
Were her best.
yeah. She's been in it her whole life, she just,
Yeah?
just, I never had no care those days, you know.
Yeah?
They'd have a baby tear them apart, almost.
Yeah.
And she was all messed up. It seems to be like that. I didn't like to understand it. It just tore all up.
All tore apart, huh?
How painful that must be.
Oh, yes.
But she,
Your dad had experiences like that too, of seeing people, didn't he, Dad?
yeah,
Huh?
oh, yeah. Yeah, she did.
He was quite a spiritual man, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah. I remember he told me one time about one of the neighbors there had passed away, and the woman was grieving about him, you know.
Yeah.
And he said that he was woke up in the middle of the night and prompted. There the fellow was standing at the foot of his bed. He says, "You go over and comfort my wife."
Yeah.
This was about 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So he got up and got dressed and went over there, and sure enough, there she was. He didn't even know he'd died, and he went over and comforted him. He said,
Oh.
"Your husband has appeared unto me, and he says not for you to grieve, that he's perfectly all right.
Yeah.
Don't grieve."
Oh.
So he comforted her in the middle of the night. And he had these promptings and seen these spirits that come to him. Quite a man, wasn't he?
Too bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He is right. All the blessings that Patriarch Ashman give.
Your dad would scribe for him?
Yeah, my dad was my granddad was bishop, and my dad was bishop too.
Yes.
And they used to stay at our place. Those guys.
Was that the first three
Family,
bishops?
the Smith was a patriarch,
Uh-huh.
and he traveled for the Shamli Candy Company,
Uh-huh.
and he'd stay there, and they'd wind up, every time he'd come there, they'd have a few blessings to give.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad was a good penman and could spell anything,
Mm-hmm.
and write, you know.
Yeah.
He had him record all that stuff for him. And so did the other one, Smith did too. But he recorded blessings in a home there for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went over to another place, he had somebody else do it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was in Hinckley, Dad was the only one ever
It was recorded for him, huh?
recording for him.
Uh-huh.
And all these blessings are in my dad's handwriting.
Hmm.
It's in the church archives.
Oh, are they? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you was a good penman too, Dad.
Well, one time I was pretty good.
You're pretty darn good. I got some samples of your writing back in 1915, and
Yeah.
I never seen any more beautiful writing than that. I'll really treasure that.
Yeah.
You wrote in there. It was beautiful, Dad. Yeah.
Oh, I changed my signature a few times,
Uh-huh.
different times. Then write just like I used to.
Yeah.
It was just the same.
Oh, Dana's a good penman.
He makes the letters, the whole thing just like I used to.
Uh-huh.
All right, Jay. I used to have a combination of it. See, I worked for the J.G. Hubbard Seed Company.
Uh-huh.
I had a little, put those letters together, you know. Made it look like something.
Mm-hmm. There's Dana's handwriting there, the letters he wrote to Dad. I just showing you the writing. Maybe you can't see it. Can't see it
No.
too good, no. But it's beautiful writing. Yeah.
One of his kids, they used to teach us penmanship.
Mm-hmm.
We used to teach- They call it mushkin removal.
Mm-hmm.
We'd write from here,
Yeah.
hand, you know,
Right.
and I made it more smooth.
Uh-huh.
Instead of going up and down his fingers.
You move it from your arm, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes beautiful writing. Yeah.
You can just write it
When you was going to high school, weren't you president of your class?
1 year.
1 year you was
Yeah.
president of your class,
Yeah.
and then you was captain of the
I was
basketball team,
I
wasn't
was
you?
captain of the team 2 years.
2 years in a row, huh? Yeah. That's where you got your ankle broke, wasn't it, Dad?
Yeah.
How'd you get that ankle broke?
Guy stepped on it.
Guy stepped on it? Yeah.
You know, we had a hell of a ball.
Uh-huh.
I stepped up there. Just as I stepped up there, he stepped right on my foot and I jumped. It broke 3 little bones right in my foot.
Right in your leg, your ankle, huh?
Dean and Peterson, we had them beat about 3 points. We only had about 2 or 3 minutes to play.
Uh-huh.
All I'd have to have done was just take the ball off, try to keep it away from the other guys 3 minutes, and they won the game.
Yeah.
But our show-off sub we put in, you know, I made the grandstand play and carry on, so throwing the ball around and trying to make a basket and showing off. Of course, they got it, and that was the end of that.
Uh-huh.
But all I had to just use their head.
Uh-huh.
And they knew that. He said, hell, if you ever ball, I would never won that.
Uh-huh.
So he tried me 3 times. He thought, well, he said, I just, I know that I had a lot of determination, you know. Too.
Yeah.
And he said, I know you can tough it out for 3 minutes. So I said, Dean, I can't. I just can't lose the game. Every time I throw that ball up, I call the time off. And they took me out, put a sub in for a Ward and moved in, and I threw it to him. He'd give it the first thing, he threw it to the basket, and they got it, and I was having that.
Yeah.
I was all, I had to go after the ball, you know.
Yeah.
Because if somebody had it, and they wanted it, I was supposed to get it.
Yeah.
And the rest of them just sat around, and when I had it, somebody could throw it in. And that'd be the big ones, you know. I'd go all over it.
Oh, well.
I don't see anything on the one that shoots the basket.
No.
So I played that ball, but I played the other boys the ball. I used to be quicker on, you know, I think.
You slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, not much.
Oh, D. Bush will come over.
Yeah.
There's some meadows, he come over there showing off. And he had some kind of a wrestling lady, side hold things on it, you know, I don't know what to call it. Put your hand in a loop and each one of you, and then you take all the other guys' overhaul or something, and you just stand there and then just to let each other to go. And then the one that can duck under the quickest has got a lot of advantage, you know.
Yeah.
And that Bushel kid who done it, just throwing around there right and left. And he got me. I wrestled with him. And that's how he go on, running so fast he didn't know which end he was. So I was sky high. He used to, no one ever saw him, you know.
Yeah.
All that.
Pretty fast, huh?
I must have been, he's supposed to be the best one now, but
Yeah.
I beat him, so I guess I was pretty good.
Must have been. You remember when we had the prayer for Ray when he was having he was sick with what was it, psoriasis?
I still do.
We all had a family prayer, and you had the water, I think it
Yeah.
was. You was down in the field,
You know,
and when it was time for the prayer, well, you had your own prayer.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. What promptings came to you then, Dad?
Oh, it did come to me as planned day that I was gonna be made well, gonna get married, have a family, go on a mission, and all things.
A lot of those things flashed through your mind, huh?
Well, yeah, so, you know.
All those things has come true, haven't they?
And, yes, and, the sad part of it was that the doctor just gave the order that he'll live.
Uh-huh.
He just told me I could just take it home and love him and you know, all he can because he's not gonna make it, he'll never make it at all.
Uh-huh.
And then I had to come home and tell my folks that
Yeah.
he's gonna live. And that was all easy job to do it because I could have misunderstood that too.
Uh-huh.
That was meant to you.
Those promptings are pretty true, aren't they, Dad?
You bet they are.
You bet they are.
Just like it was when Barbara's showing off.
Yeah.
They wasted their money. And I didn't know what to do.
Pearl had lost, what, $200?
She lost $350.
$350, and she didn't know where it was, huh? Her memory was...
She never had a receipt. She never had one stitch of things that she bought for herself or nothing.
Uh-huh.
She had nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
And Norm and his wife they just insisted we go on that game.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't figure out why that's so insistent, you know. But the next day I found out because she hawked $20 from Pearl somewhere.
Yeah.
And took 3 couples to that. Norm and them and Pearl and I and one of their friends. We got 3 couples like that. The whole game we paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason it's anxious for us to go.
Uh-huh. They'd already bought the tickets, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Oh, no, I bought the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling her about that. And I said, well, you know, I left her over that money and well, I landed over in BYU,
Provo.
Provo.
Mm-hmm.
Why, she never had no money. She needs to pay her that had no money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm for what you do with all your money. She never had a cent left. No cent.
Nothing left of
And I
the...
had to go buy her a new pantyhose
Mm-hmm.
after all the money she spent. I was telling Barb about that, and the Spirit told me. Said the Barb got $20 that morning. I'm going to test this out. I'm going to ask her. I said, Barbara, did you get $20 that morning? She said yes.
Mm-hmm. Spirit was pretty
Yeah.
true, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was the promptings you had about Pearl before you ever married her, Dad?
Same thing.
When Grandma Pratt was
We
alive?
was going, we was over to your place, wasn't we?
Yeah, he was over to my place.
I was walking up that driveway.
Pearl lived next door.
Pearl and her, and I were going up the driveway, and I was following them.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't thinking about nothing, just my mind was blank.
Blank, huh?
Just walking over there. And this flashed right over my mind. Somebody's out over there and you'll be able to go away.
Hmm. For heaven's sake.
I never dropped dead. Things that have to happen.
Right. Yeah, Mother was in good health, and you
Yeah,
didn't...
yeah.
She was
That was 2 years before Mother died.
That was 2 years before Grandma died.
Yeah. I never said a thing to Pearl, never put nothing to me. After I went with Pearl, started going, I never told her a thing. Until after she said, said she'd get married.
Yeah?
I told her.
Yeah? Didn't you tell her that you knew how to take her time when you asked her to marry you?
Yeah, she was kind of hesitating, you know.
Uh-huh.
That's what I wanted her to do.
Yeah?
I said, well, you just take your time with it. All the time you want it. I know how this is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no hurry at all. And finally she said, I better get married.
Mm-hmm. It was a blessing for both of you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very blessing.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Pearl was loaded down with debts and
Oh, she
worrying about how she could make ends meet, and she didn't have a very big income.
You just can't imagine, right?
Yeah?
Mine knows what kind of shape
That's right. She was in bad shape financially.
she was in his ward, you know.
Yeah.
And,
She did have a home, but she didn't have enough income coming in to provide
well, she
for
had
her.
that place over there,
Yeah.
and Marina could have sold that for 22,000, and she sold it for 18. Like Buddy did, you know, little Buddy.
Yeah.
And so he just nicked her 2,000. Oh,
But when you combined your incomes
yeah.
and your social securities and all, it made a good living for both of you, didn't it?
Very nice.
Very nice, and she was able to.
They kept bugging me about buying something to supplement my income.
Promptings of the Spirit again?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I did.
Yeah?
I asked her for about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy come along and they want to sell my place, so I thought, well, I'll come take a look at it. And I looked at it and it seemed like it was pretty good to buy, and he wanted 11.5 for it, and I said, I'll give you that. I'll give you 10.5. That's all. It had a new refrigerator and a new stove and a bunch of stuff in it. And I want to take that out. Now, you won't take it out if I buy it. I'll buy it like it is, and that's all I'll give it for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wouldn't sell it for that. Well, I said, that's all right. Let it go ahead. So they decided not to sell it. And about a week, they wanted to sell it to me, so I gave them $100 on it to tie the thing up. And I went to home and I got to thinking about it. And I said, Pearl, let's go down and take one more look at that place. There's something about that town. Maybe we should better go look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went down there and our front door was faced kind of off. It opened to the north instead of the west street. And it opened right into the kitchen of a family of Negroes, all over 20 feet,
Mm-hmm.
or 40 or 50 feet at least
Mm-hmm.
from our door. I said, well, we don't want that. Neighbors are all right, but you got that problem, you know. People don't like to live by them. Can't blame them sometimes. And so I thought, well, I'll lose my heart. And 3 days after, another guy come along.
Yeah.
And another relative, he said, I got a place down there I'd like to have a look at. Oh, no, I looked at it and I said, how much you want for it? He said, I want 11.5 for it. I said, no, I can't pay that for it. But I'll give you 10.5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I won't take that. No, so okay. we always put on a place then. And about a week they come back and want it.
Uh-huh.
Most of them are very bad, so I bought that.
You rented it out, didn't you, Dad?
Yeah, I had to fix it up.
Yeah,
You
had to
know,
fix it all up?
You know, in the agreement,
Yeah?
the guy was supposed to fix the fence and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And save his commission lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
He told me, he said, well, I said, can I depend on him fixing our fence? He said, oh, yes. His word's all right. And I thought his was too, you know.
Yeah?
Always looking out for that commission.
Hmm.
And he went out there and put 3 or 4 of the 8 penny nails in the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And just half done the job, just kind of leaned it up a little bit. It was nothing done.
Yeah?
So I looked about it, and I refused to pay him more money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that guy got his attorney, he would make me pay it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I could depend on this realtor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's what you told me was a fixed price, didn't you? He never said nothing to me about any fence.
No kidding?
Lied, oh.
Lied, huh?
You know, I don't know.
Yeah?
I don't know. I paid $100, so I just said, I'll take it away. It took me about 3 weeks to fix that fence. I went off, and stuff was all loose with the posts.
Mm-hmm.
I got the bolts and bolted each one. So
I know you did, and then you
the
put
whole
some,
thing.
put some metal down
I
on
put
them?
3 nails in each board, turn around that thing. I put that steel gate up in front. That's how it breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And I rented it right off. The guy wanted to rent it. He rented it, paid me about $11,000 an hour, and then later on to buy it, so I sold it to him for $10,000.
It was a source of income for you for a long time, wasn't it? Still is.
$11,000 out of $350 of $3,500 investment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I told him all I get it.
Yeah?
It was, to sell the property.
You bought him out, huh?
I-
And assumed his loan, is that what you did?
I bought him out. And I paid his mortgage off. He had a $7,000 mortgage. I paid that off. And had the LID against it for $1,500. I paid that too.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I made money on that place. That was a good strong.
He still owes you $15,000.
Now he's going to pay a long time.
It's really,
That's the last time I saw my statement, it was about 15, so it's still over.
yeah, about $15,500 or something like that he owes you on it.
Yeah.
You get a check every month,
Yeah.
every month, and it's really supplemented your income and helped you, hasn't it? Yeah.
His first check was about $450. It drops down a few cents, you know,
Mm-hmm.
each time. I don't know what it is now, I can't remember.
200 and something now, Dad.
'Cause I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you haven't seen it for a while. You kind of enjoyed those letters that Marilee sent you, hadn't you, Dad? You remember those letters that she sent you, the pictures and whatnot?
I sure did. Oh, that's right.
You want to tell Marilee thanks for those nice letters?
Yeah, I did.
You wrote and told her about that, huh?
Yeah,
Okay,
I did somebody,
yeah.
I sent her a book.
Oh, you sent Marilee a book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might have it out.
Yeah. Marilee, your grandpa thinks you're a wonderful girl.
Yeah, but I do.
He sure does.
Good, nice little kid.
Nice kid. John's girl, Julie looks after, is working with Pearl down there in the nursing home, isn't she?
Yeah, she has.
She is.
That's a wonderful job. She gonna see her twice. Last week or this week. She seen her once, she wants to come back and see her again, she said.
Yeah. Then she writes you a letter every week, don't she,
Yeah,
Dad, and tells you how she's
yeah,
doing,
She
and
does.
that's pretty nice to do that.
I'll tell you that.
Did you have a pretty good fishing trip this last summer? Remember when we went up to the trailer and went fishing?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah,
Beautiful up there, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very good.
Got right down on the creek and sat in a chair and
Oh, yeah.
pulled them out of there, right there where Ray and you kids used to fish, you know.
You bet.
It was in there as black as could be.
I should have a boat.
Huh?
I should go out on a boat now.
You should go out in the boat now. You're gonna have to get him out in the boat this next summer.
Yeah,
Do a little fishing.
yeah. Miner's gonna go out every week with his boat, you know, we got it.
Yeah?
I've been in out fishing in that boat once.
You've been into fishing in the boat once, huh? Yeah. Well, Marion's had an awful lot of work to do, and an awful lot. He's been tied up quite a little bit.
And them kids is on his boat. It's all the gas is broke down, you know, he can't run it.
Yeah.
They go off and they broke down for him to fix.
Yeah.
And south and I
We're sure glad that Brent and Ray is here with us and come to visit you, aren't you? Yeah. And John last week.
Yeah.
You got 130 in your posterity now. Yeah, that's quite a few. From two of you, it's gone up to 130. And there's another one coming right away of Lee's kids. That'll make 131. That's quite a few, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah. You got a lot of grandchildren to be proud of, haven't you, Dad?
Well, I say I have.
You sure have. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Joy and rejoicing in your posterity.
I just can't.
Are you having any of that joy and rejoicing?
I just can't believe it.
You can't hardly believe it, huh? Yeah.
Things have done
Yeah. They all love you.
and have done.
Yeah, and are doing for you.
You bet.
That's right. The Lord's kind of blessed you, hasn't he, over the years?
And what blesses me.
Well, Grandpa's getting a little tired, so I think we'll shut it off for a while.
Okay.